I got locked in my house. I couldn't get out. My door handle doesn't work, so I had to go through the basement. Whatever.
You know how to work it.
No, it wasn't. Now it's really not working.
If you push it in and then out.
Yeah.
You could just ask Naftali not to come over. You don't have to break your lock.
It's true. I got to get on Avi's case.
Right. That was my next law.
I already got on his case today.
I break it, Avi fixes it, huh?
Well, Avi claims your guys that fixed it did a lousy job, to be honest with you. That's what Avi claims.
Everybody loves to blame somebody else. Look in the mirror.
Guess what? You know something? You can't beat free.
That's
I
right.
guess if you don't want to get in out of your house, like Corona. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Pretty quick daf tonight. So everybody can get their beauty sleep. Yes, I'm a Frisian kohen gadol.
What happened?
Yeah, so that's what we're up to. We got up to the 2 dots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my Frisian kohen gadol.
Oh,
All right, so you could separate the kohen gadol. Separate the kohen gadol. Lama mafrishin. Why did they separate him? So Gemara asks, Lama mafrishin? Like we said, if it's according to Rabbi Yochanan, then it's because we learned it out from the Miluim in Iler Rish Lakish, and if it's from Rish Lakish, we learned it out from Moshe by Har Sinai that they needed to go away for a week before they did the avodas. So Gemara answers, "No, mi beisay lama pirish." Why Dafka with his wife? Why can't his wife come along with him? Right? So Tanya, no, because maybe the wife will be a suffix nidda, and he'll be boiler. So Gemara asks.
This is another one of those interesting chashashis of the Beis Hamikdash.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the kohen gadol we're talking about being boiler suffix nidda.
Correct.
Yeah.
So well, that's really what the Gemara is going to ask.
But that doesn't mean that he knows. Maybe she has the suffix. She didn't say anything.
And she wouldn't tell her husband. I mean, he's one of the gadolei adoyr.
No, so what? It doesn't mean that he had the shilas.
Gershon Bayasheni, he wasn't one of the Gedolei Adar.
That's true. This mission is only talking about Bayis Sheni.
This question, it would make things easier if it was.
Yeah.
It definitely would. It definitely would. Yeah. But anyway, let's see.
It leads another kasha. In Bayis Sheni, you think they listened?
What?
In Bayis Sheni, they listened to this? They didn't care about anything.
Right. So I don't know. All right, so let's see. So Amru Rabbanu Kamedu Rav Chisda Kaman Rebbe Kiva da Amar. Did I skip the place? Oh no, yeah, I skipped this line, right? So then when it says Oto Breshia Skina, are we talking about Rishayim? Right? What do you mean he's gonna a chashash is gonna be boiled as a suffix nidda wife? Right? Ella Shema Yavai al Ishtay v'timtza suffix nidda. No, maybe he's gonna be boil her and she's gonna be a suffix nidda, meaning she found dam afterwards. And then the question is, like we learned the beginning of nidda, when a woman becomes a nidda, how far back do we assume the period started to aser anything? All right, so let's say she becomes a nidda right afterwards. All right, so how do we know? Maybe Hitaka was boiler. So therefore we keep them away for a week. Like this, you don't have this problem. So Amru Rabbanu Kamedu Rav Chisda. The Rabbanan said in front of Rav Chisda, Kaman Rebbe Kiva. So who is it like? It's Rebbe Kiva. Damar nidda matama is boiler. A nidda is matama a boiler, the one who's boiler. Meaning, this is not talking about that. We know from this week's parsha that if a man sleeps with a woman who's a nidda, he becomes a nidda, right? Here we're saying that if they were together within the past 24 hours of her getting a period, then she becomes a nidda, right? He becomes a nidda. We assume that she was a nidda We kick back her period to 24 hours before today. Meaning, so let's say tonight tonight she becomes a nidda, and they were together last night within the last 24 hours. Then he becomes a nidda. The assumption is that she was a nidda within the last 24 hours. So the same thing here.
Still
So
only if she doesn't have a veskavua.
It's only if she
Back
doesn't
then, the rive was they did. So a chayshish A that she doesn't have a veskavua. B that he doesn't know whether she has a veskavua. I mean, it's still a very vital kashash.
Correct. Yeah. But that's it is a very vital chashash. Anyway, so that's what he's saying. The Rabbanon ha'amri ain't the matamas boiler. The Rabbanon say and he does not matama the boiler, the one that's boiler the last 24 hours. They hold that it's only from whenever she becomes a nidda, that's when she becomes also. Fine. So Amud Rav Chisda afilu tamer Rabbanon. You could even say the Rabbanon akan like pligi Rabbanon the Rebbe Kiva elaba acher. They're only having the Machlokes when it was after. That's a literal translation, meaning when she was, it was a little bit longer after they were together, right? Meaning, let's do the whole sentence and we'll go back. But if it was immediately after, then he's maida. So basically, what we're saying is that, and this does come up in practical hilchos nidda also. If the second he was finished, she saw dam, then everybody would agree that we consider him a nidda. It's only if it was more than a few seconds, right? The zman is from the time it will take for her to go off the bed and wipe herself. That would be considered immediate, which is very quick, right? Acher is longer than that. Right, meaning after she would have had time to go off the bed and clean herself, that's when she cleaned herself, then that's too long, and then that's what a machlokes is.
And how long is that? How long is that?
A few seconds. Acher is a mamash a few seconds. The poskim say because she even has to have the tissue or the bikah in her hand, b'shas the biyah. She's not like going to get it. It's gonna be in her hand. She gets off the bed, checks herself. How long does that take? Some of the places.
Why would she check herself anyway?
No, back then they were very from. They were very from back then. No, seriously, they were very from. That for tumahs and tyrus.
Now we tell everybody not to check.
Exactly, because now it's a disaster. Also now, because what happens is we end up being makel on a lot of the colors nowadays. Where back then it was for tumah and tara, so they had to know whether everything that they cooked for the last 24 hours was tameh, and everything was tameh. Now it's for the baila, and we know that there's only 5 types of dam that are tameh. All the rest of them are tar. We're just machmer for all of them because we lost the Messiah. So we'd rather not check than have to be makel.
That's why I asked you today about the tumah tara. So why don't we? You were saying today's daf, but why do we have tumah from these maras that you do know that are tumah?
Right.
Why don't we have that contamination? Same thing.
No, but it's based. The halachas are based on tumah and tara.
But there are certain maras that are still tumah nowadays, still, correct?
Yeah.
So don't we know? I'm saying we don't know the maras that are tameh.
We don't know. The bottom line is there's only 5 reds.
And
4
we don't.
reds
I'm saying
and
we
1
don't
black.
know those 5 reds.
No, we absolutely do not know. Even at the time of the Mishnayos already, we didn't know.
So we just assume it's not one of those 5 that.
No, we're gonna be machmer, but we're gonna be machmer for no, because we don't.
We're
know.
not machmer because then we read tameh.
No, we're not machmer.
The seat that she sits on, the food that she touches.
No, that's out to tumah and tara. We don't have tumah and tara nowadays. But the reason why we're telling the women not to check anymore is because even when they check, the whole thing is even if we're machmer, we're gonna be machmer out a suffix. So better not to be machmer on a suffix or mekel on a suffix. Better not to do it. It's optional, right? It's not negated to tumah and tara. It's only negated to her husband. So better not to do it, right? Yeah. So anyway, so that's.
This is also only according to the Amayra that holds Kol Amarda, the Bedika is talking about on a regular day. I mean, it's Machlokes Amayraim ultimately.
Yeah. That's what we're gonna say, but that's also part. That's all part of the matzah, right? But anyway, so it's almost bottom line. It's almost impossible for her to check herself that fast. She mamish has to be within a couple of seconds, which doesn't happen in the real world. It doesn't happen like that, right? Now, if he sees blood on himself, that's a whole different story, right? If the man sees blood on himself, then even if he sees it an hour later, since he was, depending on where in the body, but if it's on the aver that was inside, then that's a no. Then the game is over, right? Then that's.
Don't we say then that's the roy machmas tashmish?
Yes, that would be roy machmas tashmish. Either way, but she's zicher be a nidda, right? He would zicher if the kohen gadol would feel he would zicher be out, right? And don't think that doesn't happen. It happens. It happens fairly often, actually. Yeah. So especially now with pills and all these things. So there's no checking. Anyways, okay. So I'm gonna say it. Shmami no boil nidda ain't a nidda. We learn from this that somebody who's boil a nidda is not exactly like a nidda, right? V'toivel b'yom, and the tefillah is during the day. Meaning nidda toivels at night. Most tumah and tara you toivel during the day. You need head of shemesh, like we said a couple of days ago. But nidda is the tefillah is at night, right? So we're saying here that it has to be that the kohen, that his tefillah has to be during the day, right? So even the chashash is that he's a nidda. So how could it be it's during the day? If he's a nidda, it's got to be at night. Elamai, boil nidda is not exactly like nidda, and he would go during the day. Because if you say it's mamish like nidda, emas tovel. When's he going to be tovel? But at night. How's he going to do the avodah the next day? Meaning, whatever time you go to the mikva, if it's after shkia, then you have to wait till you become fully taurus the next day. So if they only separate the kohen 7 days before, and he goes to the mikva on the erev Yom Kippur by night or Yom Kippur by night, right? Then he has to wait another full day. So how could that be? It must be he goes during the day, which means that he's not exactly like a nidda, because the nidda would go at night. No, boil nidda ain't a nidda. Boil nidda is not exactly like nidda. Fine.
For tumah and tara, a nidda needs hair of shemesh. I thought a tara comes by shkia, then she goes to mikvah. She doesn't need hair of shemesh.
What? No, yeah.
Nidda doesn't need hair of shemesh after. She brings the carbon the next day.
Yeah, right. And then hair of shemesh. We had this in Psachim.
I thought there was only okay.
Yeah. That's no, but nowadays not negated. Okay. Anyways, nowadays women are not niddas; they're zavas. So it's not the whole thing is a different. That's the interesting thing. We call them niddas. They're zavas. They could go during the day, but they only go at night. Right? Yeah. Anyways, so Rav Shimon ben Arda. You could even say a bail nidda is like a nidda. No, what we do is that we make him separate an hour before shkia. Right? So if he separates an hour before shkia, so then the 7 days will be up an hour before shkia, and then he can go. to the mikvah. So then Meisvei, we're gonna ask a kasha on this. Kol chai betfilas. Right, or anything that's chayiv in tefillah, tefillah b'yom. The tefillah is during the day. Nidda v'yeledes, tefillah b'layla. But a nidda and a yeledes is their tefillah is at night. Nidda it's mashma only a nidda. Boil nidda loy. A boil nidda doesn't go at night. Right. So when it says no, nidda b'chol da'asim Meribuya means a nidda and anything that becomes a nidda because of the nidda, which is the man. If he was with his wife and she was a nidda, so she's a nidda and the husband's also a nidda. Meisvei balkeri kemaga sheretz. The halachas of a balkeri is like touching a sheretz, right? Meaning which they toivel during the day that when they became tameh, and that's it. We had this in Psachim. Boil nidda ketameh meis, but a boil nidda is tameh meis. Which means what? My lav tefillah doesn't mean for tefillah, and then they go during the day. So you see a bayal nidda would go during the day. So when it says loylu tumason, what it means is for their tumah, right? Meaning that they become rishon l'tumah, right? That's Rashi says. See, Rashi says on the bottom here. He says, "Palkeri is like a magasher to tumas erev, rishon l'tumah, and it's a rishon. It's not an av. Bayal nidda tumas shiva. It's 7 days. Avatuma, and it's like an avatuma ketame mes. So the Gemara asks tumas and behed yiksivu. It says the tumah that says it openly. Hi tumas shiva ksive. This one has 7 days. It says wait, hi tumas shiva ksive, right? And this one has tumah of 7 days. So why do you need to tell me this din that they have the same halachas of tumah? Elalav must be l'tfilasan. It must be for the tefillah that they go during the day. So when it answers no, l'tumasa. It's really tumah for the tumah. Save it, but you need the sefer to tell you a chiddush. Elo shechomer mimenu bayal nida, meaning somebody who's bayal nida is more chomer. Shemetama mishkav u'moishav betumah kala. It's metama anything that you sit on with a makel tumah, with a lenient tumah. L'tama oichlin u'mashkin, to be metama oichlin u'mashkin. Meaning, it's a confusing line here. Basically, there's a chumrah by nidda over tumas mace. There's something unique to nidda that is anything that they sit on. Meaning, normally you touch something that becomes a rishon, and then the next thing is a sheni shlishi. By nidda, there's something called tumas mishkav u'moshav, which anything that they sit on, they can be on 10 pillows, like Rashi says. You can have a nidda zava. Right? You could be sitting on 10 pillows, they all become tameh. But a tameh mace does not. Tameh mace, the bottom pillows won't be a problem because rishon, sheni, shlishi. That's it. Right? Yeah. So a nidda has that's unique about it. But the other things don't have that. So that's what we're saying. That's the chiddush here that the bayal nidda is going to have those chumras, right? That's the chiddush of the Bryce. Fine. So Tashima, the Tani Rabbi Chia said, Hazova Matzarav Matzaras Ubayal Nida B'Tamei Meis. Right, almost all these with this week's parsha, right? Zava Matzara Matzaras Bayal Nida and Tamei Meis Tfilasan B'Yom. The tefillas during the day. Nida v'Yeledes Tfilasan B'Layla. And Nida and Yeledes, the tefillah is B'Layla. So you see very straight out, right? That it's dafka nida and a yeledes, and it says boil nida is tefillah says b'yom. So tiyofta so it's taka kasha, right? So therefore, and the boil nida goes to mikvah during the day. So therefore, we don't have to say that they separated him 7 days and 1 hour before Yom Kippur. They could separate him regular because even if he was with a nida, he would be toivel during the day. Yeah, fine. So now we're done with that sugi. Now we start the next sugi. So why are you so worried about tumas nida? What about tumas mace? Right? Meaning his wife is not allowed to be with him, but he's allowed to be with other kohanim. Why is he allowed to be with other kohanim? Maybe the other kohanim are going to be tameh mace. They're going to come. They're going to touch him.
It's not shchiach.
What?
It's not shchiach.
It's as much shchiach as right.
What do you mean? Kohanim can't become tameh. They're not hanging around people that are tameh mace.
He's not. It's not shchiach. No, but we're afraid that what happens if somebody dies?
It's not the norm. It's not every.
It's not the norm. It's not the norm. Also, for a woman to see dam b'shas tashmish.
What do you mean? She sees every month. What do you mean?
Good. So but if it's during the month, so if it's near that time, then don't. But if it's not near that time, what's the problem? No.
I don't know. It seems like it's a lot more shchiach for a woman to see dam, at least
Than somebody to die.
Somebody to die. I mean, it's not or tumas mace. a kohen who's separated. I mean, a woman 100 days a year. I mean,
A kohen died in the Mikdash that week, so they all became tameh.
I understand, but that's not every day. She sees dam 100 days a year.
Right. Okay. Yeah, but if it's at the if especially if like Gershon was saying, if she has a set cycle, right?
Are you makabel that teretz, or are you just telling it to me?
Which teretz? That she has a set cycle?
Yeah.
Am I makabel the teretz? I back then most women were set cycles, but I did see somebody discuss about which one is more shchiach, but I don't remember where I saw it.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember where I saw it. That somebody did say that it's more shchiach or less shchiach. I don't know. Okay, if I remember, I'll say. So
What exactly is this Tefishumi Tumas Mace? Is the chashash that one of the kohenim doing the avodah is going to die, or that a kohen who is tameh mace is going to come in?
No, the Charizev's right. What's the chashash that a tameh mace is getting into the Beis Hamikdash?
Right.
Right, the Chayr, that's going to die. Right. Anyway, so for Rishum Tumas Mace, so Amar Rav Tachliv Avud Ravuna Mishmei the Rav Zaysemeres Tumas Mace Hutri Betzibur. Now there's a major sugya here. Tumas Hutra Betzibur, which is a big chiddush because there's a big psachim sugya, right? That when everybody, more than half of Klal Yisrael's tameh on for the Korban Pesach, so then they don't have to go to Pesach Sheni. They could bring it on Pesach Rishon. But this is not a tzibur's carbon. This is the kohen gadol's carbon. The pshat is no, since it's at a set time and the kohen gadol is representing the tzibur, so mamela it's tzibur. So we're not worried about even if theoretically he would become tameh mace. We don't care because tumah is hutra b'tzibur, and it's going to be totally mutter.
Mutter or is not tameh?
What?
It's mutter or is not tameh?
He's tameh, but we don't care. He's tameh and we don't care. Oh, this is what you were saying. This is what I must have remembered. It's 2 lines later, Zev, unless this is what you are referring to. Yeah, you could even say that Tumas Mace is Tchuya. Tumas Mace loy shchicha, Tumas Beis shchicha. That's your teretz. Right? I knew I saw it. At least I remembered I saw it somewhere. 2 lines later, that's Shvach HaMaisis. All right, it's a bunch of hours ago that I looked at it. Okay, and anyway, so the Ravina is saying you could even say it's Tchuya. Now, what is the difference between Hutra and Tchuya? That's going to be today's daf, the rest of today's daf, and tomorrow's daf. Meaning Tchuya, this is for the Hatzalah members, right? When you be right, Lamashal, when you have to be Machal Shabbos, is Shabbos totally mutter, and you just say it's not Shabbos for you anymore, do whatever you want, or do you say no, it's Tchuya, and every little thing that you could do, you try and push off. You try and like do with a shinu, like we're learning.
On the way to the call?
No, not on the way to the call. But yeah,
the way to the call is like a regular Tuesday.
No, but even theoretically, on the way to the call, if there was something that you could do, that's totally not going to take any. Then you would have to do it or not. If you say Shabbos is tchuya, which we don't say, then you'd have to. If we say it's hutra, then it's just mutter. So that's the Machlokes here. Ravina said, not Ravina, Ravad said, Tuma's hutra. So we don't care. We don't have to try and get the kohen out of it. It's hutter. If he becomes, we separate him for a week. If he becomes tameh mace, we don't care. You don't have to try and pull shtick to get him out of it. Ravina says, even if you say is tchuya, which means that you have to try your best not for him not to be tameh. If it happens, it happens, but you got to try your best not to. But even so, we're not going to be chasher tumas mace because that's not shchiach. Tumas pesa is shchiach. Tumas mace is not shchiach. Right? Fine. So then the Gemara says now the Gemara is going to discuss this whole tumah is hutra or tchuya. Itma tumas mace. So tumas mace or Nachman Amar hutra hi betzibur. It's hutter. Rav Sheshes Amar tchuya hi betzibur. It's tchuya. Right? Just a straight machlokes. Hey, so the Gemara says heicha deika tameinu tahayin bahu beis av. Right? So we said that there's 24 mishmaros, right? And it was separated into beis av. Well, I guess literal way is batei avos, right? and and each one had their own day of the week. So now what happens if all those Kohanim, or some of them became tameh? Do we say tumah's hutra? The Kohanim that are on call or tameh, keep going, right? They're dealing with the karbanos of the tzibur, right? Or do we say no? Let's bring in other Kohanim, right? So let's say in that base av, the one that was on duty, not all of them became tameh. Then kuli amalei pligit tahirin avdi, tameh and loy avdi. Put in the tahirin, right? Bring in the guys from AAA, right? Whatever it is. Right? That was a big Machlokes this Shabbos too. AAA, Major League, whatever. That was a continuation from Friday's Machlokes over sports, rock music. If Thailand was on before the daf, whatever. But big continuation. But anyways, bring them in. Bring in the backups, right? Kuli amalei pligit tahirin avdi, tameh and loy avdi. Everybody says bring in the tahirin and let the tameim not. Keep ligi lahadure elasuya tahirin base avachrino. Should you go get him from another group of Kohanim who are not on call today? Right? Should you do that? Are you mechuyev to do that?
We learned before that they're very protective of the mishmar.
True. Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
very good, Naftali.
So,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So that may play a role in how we pass, I guess.
Yeah, but but that's part of this Machlokes. Yeah. So now one of a heter hi betzibur v'loy madrinon. It's a heter betzibur, and you don't, meaning it's hutter. Again, that's the main yesod. If it's hutter, you don't have to do that. You just, they're tameh now, you go. Sheishas amar tchuya hi betzibur u'madrinon. They're tchuya and they're there, and we go look for them. Ikad amri afilu heicha de ikad tahirin u'tmei bahu beisav. Even if there are tamei and tahirin in that beisav. Polig, there's a Polig Nachman va'amar avdi nami tamein. The other pshat is that even if there's tahirin and tamein in that beisav, Rav Nachman disagrees and he says the tamein can still work. Meaning you don't, even within the same beisav, you don't have to. The chol tumas meis betzibur rachmana sharia. Any tumas meis in the tzibur, the Torah matters it and it's mutter, and you don't have to go looking after any sort of shticks to try and do anything, because it's mutter. Anytime if it comes mutter, it's mutter. You don't have to look for things, right? If it's tchuya, then you have to look for things. So we'll continue that tomorrow, Bez Hashem. That's a pretty quick daf. Yeah, tomorrow should be too. I might have to do the daf a little earlier tomorrow. I have my nephew's var in Lakewood, so I'm not exactly sure. I'll let the oilam know in late afternoon exactly if that's okay. All right, a good talk, everybody. Good talk.
Chayra, you do see from here that tumah hutra bein dechuya, the tzibur that we're referring to is not right with Klal Yisrael. It's a particular tzibur that's there.
What do you say?
Chayra, you can see from this Gemara that the tzibur, tumah hutra b'tzibur, whether hutra or dechuya, the tzibur that we refer to is not the whole of Klal Yisrael. It's the tzibur that happens to be at the Beis Hamikdash.
Gershon, I had the same thought. You like just kick him out. Just kick him out. Why should Klal Yisrael have the hustler Kohanim working that day? Bring in new Kohanim for the Klal Yisrael.
That's a tzibur doesn't mean
what makes the
whole Klal
Kohanim the
Yisrael.
bosses? What makes them the bosses? They're working on a carbon tzibur.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that a carbon tzibur, since they're in charge of the carbon. I'm wondering, Taka, what's with the yachid? Do they do the karbanos yachid too, or just the karbanos tzibur?
Well, here we're talking about Yom Kippur, so there's only one carbon yachid, which is the kohen gadol's
No, we're not
office.
talking about
This
that.
is
That's Rashi before.
This is all year round.
No, we're
This is
talking
something
about
else
a regular
all
week.
year round.
Gershon. Talking about a regular week. Talking a regular week.
Now we're talking regular.
No, so then Rashi says only the carbon tzibur. You wouldn't bring karbanos yachid.
Right.
You
So
push them up to the
carbon
next
yachid,
week.
we have to get new koyanim for.
Or you
That's
push
it,
them to the next
right?
week.
Which is interesting because how do you say it? Once there, you got to bring in new koyanim for the carbon yachid, right? So then they might as well do the carbon tzibur too.
I'm not sure you would bring new kohanim in. You'd push the carbon yakid off to the following week.
What do you mean?
The next week, there's going to be new kohanim coming. These kohanim are only here for this week.
The fellow
This week,
wants his, the fellow wants his kapara, or the lady.
You're saying you push off the
just wants to go
carbon
back
yakid
to
till
our
next week?
family.
Yeah,
Who said that? Where'd you get that from?
why not?
Why a guy comes there?
We don't right now. We don't know either way. We know that there seems to be a problem with bringing new kohanim in. That we know. Where do you see there's an issue with pushing someone up for a week?
I don't know. I never thought that we do that.
He's
In a
not there
normal
next
case,
week.
we wouldn't.
He's
This
not
is not
there.
a
He
normal
came from out of-
case.
Gershon, he came from out of
Gershon, the
town.
guy-
He's not there.
The guy is not as rich as you. He flew in from Buenos Aires to bring a carbon khatis. He's paying $300 a night in the hotel, and he has plane tickets. What you charge? Make him spend another $10,000?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
You must
That's a
maybe. I
share.
don't know. Are you a kohen then?
I'm a Bechar. Next step.
Bechar. It's a big deal. Bechar don't mean nothing much nowadays with the kohanim. Usurped us.
No, they will. Mirza Hashem. It's Machlokes Tanoim, but the Mirza Hashem, we will.
Well, with your attitude, I vote for the Kohanim.
And the base of English Shlishi will all be close by the base of Mikva.
You notice if Yaakov didn't say anything, that stuff totally.
That's right.
Yeah, but here, this whole sugya is about not bringing in kohanim to do it. Then you would be right. If you're anyway bringing kohanim because there's 100 carbon yakids to do, then your new tzibur is not roiv tameh anymore. You don't have tumah or dechuya b'tzibur. There wouldn't be a heter to use them b'chlal for carbon tzibur.
No.
Why is your time wrong? I don't understand.
I never heard of pushing somebody's carbonas. I just don't know. I never heard.
I didn't hear of it either. I'm bad to maskim to you and Aaron. I'm not really arguing with that. All I'm saying is that the metzius is that if you're bringing other kohanim in to do all the karbonos yakid, which one would imagine they were by far outnumbered the carbon tziburs of a regular Tuesday, then you don't have tzibur or tameh anymore. You have tzibur tahir. You got to send all the tameim home, and then you have a whole new bunch of kohen tahirim. There is no tumah of tzibur left. So the whole sugya falls apart if you're bringing other kohanim in for karbonos yachid. You don't have a sugya left. That was the only thing I was left with, is that you push them off to the following week or something like that.
Right. I hear. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. I gotta go to meet somebody. Okay. Fine.
I gotta make Havdalah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very good. Yeah. Good luck.
Talk parrots.